Okay, so welfare, we'll talk about welfare. Felons can now get food stamps, or what they call CalFresh. Yeah, it's not food stamps anymore. I sit on that committee and they tried to come to me and go, can you put this on consent calendar? And I said, what is it? And they said, changing the name from food stamps to CalFresh. It's revenue neutral. It doesn't cost any money. And I said, well, if I change my policies in my business and I have to recopy everything from my 7 offices, I think it costs money. I think there's an expenditure here. Oh, I didn't think about that. Well, okay, let's think about that before we put this on a consent calendar. So, felons can now get food stamps or CalFresh. Felons can get that. No more fingerprinting. So Ted, wants to go down to Los Angeles and apply for welfare benefits, and he's already got welfare benefits in Kern County. So they say, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Costa, you've already got welfare benefits, so you can't apply because we fingerprinted you. So we sorry, Ted. Okay. So we fingerprinted you. So they say that it doesn't detour enough cost. There's not enough fraud caught by fingerprinting. And I get on the floor and I'm like, hello, have you ever heard of a deterrent? Deterrent. You don't go in and get fingerprinted because you know you're going to get caught. So therefore you don't duplicate your application for benefits. Anyways, it's degrading too for the applicant. So they don't want to fingerprint you. Let's see. CalFresh, Alejo, increase of workers' comp. A lot of workers' comp cost increases. As a matter of fact, everything that I worked on with then Assemblymember Kevin McCarthy back in the day for workers' comp was unraveled before my very eyes in one committee. And so, with caveats to punish employers for their free ride that they've had this entire time. So they think. Let's see. SB 535 is it's the new cap and trade system, which increases a lot of costs for cap and trade. Earlier this year, I introduced a bill called AB 333. And that was really important to me because it was the only bill that got out of Ledge Council, and it was the only bill, and because I know that when I prayed over this whole thing about being a legislator, God had given me Jeremiah 33:3, or 33, which is a promise of restoration for our state. That's the only reason I'm doing what I'm doing, because I believe there's a promise of restoration for our state. So anyways, AB 333 comes up, and what it was is just to tell CARB that, look, we know you don't know what you're doing. Why don't you just wait? Because you're not going to be able to give any employer lead time. They're going to have to buy equipment, train, install the equipment, train people on the equipment to make it work, to be able, you don't know how you're going to distribute the actual carbon credits. You don't know how you're going to be able to trade carbon credits. You don't know, you don't know what you're doing. Basically, why don't you just wait and delay it a year? No, we know what we're doing. So we get an email today. They are recruiting people that know anything about the cap and trade system because they don't know what they're doing. Okay, they don't know what they're doing. So that bill is to make that a little bit stronger. So SB 568 on the 3rd page or 4th page, no polystyrofoam. So polystyrofoam. So I have Pactive in my district. They sent me letters this thick. Please, Ms. Grove, save my job. Please, Ms. Grove, save my job. Ms. Grove, I've worked here for 12 years, save my job. And you go in there and they want to outlaw styrofoam. Only in the state of California, not in the world, not in the nation, not in Arizona, not in Colorado, not in Texas, not in China, not anywhere but California, and that's going to save the ocean. Okay? These people are really serious about this. They've got these photographs where styrofoam products wash up on the beach, and my thought was, well, thank God it floats and it goes up on the beach, and you have people that clean it up. What if it just sunk to the bottom of the ocean? You'd never know it was there, right? So polystyrofoam, that is actually, it was passed on this Senate, passed the Senate, and it's held right now in the Assembly, so we're hoping that they don't have enough votes to get that out. Because there are a lot of Pactive plants. There's a Pactive plant in Redwood City, Los Angeles, and Bakersfield. So I'm sure the legislators that are in Los Angeles and up in this Bay Area are getting hit with the same letters I got hit with. And it's a job killer bill. Solorio, another union bill, requires a loan in the amount not to exceed $4,300,000 made for the Uninsured Employers Benefit Trust Fund to the State Public Works Enforcement. It's just basically giving them money to fund their pension programs when there's no money. There's no money. Buchanan, AB 900, she's in a contested redistricted seat. So what do? They give her the big jobs bill that's going to come out. This is where they've created all these jobs. And I heard Steinberg was on the radio this morning saying what a beautiful session we've had and we created all these jobs. Don't believe the guy. Yeah. So they gave her to carry the bill. So basically it's if the governor likes you and picks you, you spend over $1 million or $1 billion. Is it a million or a billion? It's a very, very big project. Okay, I don't have the exact dollar number here. 100 million, thank you. So the governor likes you, you spend over $100 million, and you use union or prevailing wage people and the Union Trades Council, you can get your project through CEQA in 175 days. Otherwise, you're in that 3 to 5 year track. So those are the things that you have to get, but that's the bill. And it has to be LEED certified. Now what the difference is on LEED certified, you can't get LEED certified till the project is finished. So how do you know that you're going to be LEED certified when the project starts, when it doesn't get certified LEED till it's finished? So the bill makes no sense. But anyway, she'll be able to go out and tout that she's the big job creator bill and she carried all this because hopefully she's thinking it'll wipe out all her horrible votes that she's had in the past that have aligned herself with the Democratic Party. Training requirements, I mean, it just goes on and on. And you know, the only voice that you have outside of that legislature right now is the ballot initiative process, okay, the initiative process. You don't like what they do with, you know, the marriage amendments, you support Prop 8. You don't like what they do on SB 48, which is that gay lesbian education tool or bill that they passed, and I'll talk about that in a second. Then you go to a ballot initiative, and you go to stopsb48.com and you sign a signature or a petition, and then that allows the people to vote on it. So they understand that even controlling the governorship in both houses and all the constitutional officers, they still have a problem because dang, those people, they're still speaking, you know. And I got up one day over one of these initiative bills, and I said, you know, I realize y'all want to control your subjects, but this is a democracy, you know. It's just ridiculous. They have, they're going to charge you $2,000 to apply to gather ballot petitions, to gather signatures, when now there's like a $25 fee. It's going to be $2,500 or $2,000. They have a bill, it's a Gatto bill. He's the guy that when our paychecks disappeared for a couple of weeks, his family was going to starve and he wasn't going to be able to feed his kids. Anyways, so that guy introduced a piece of legislation that said that when you guys gather your signatures and you've got all your signatures and you've got your title and summary and you're getting ready to go to the ballot, you have to send it back to the state legislature for them to amend your bill or your ballot initiative, to amend it to how they see fit. The other thing is that paid signature gatherers, there's a fine if you have paid signature gatherers. Let me see if I can find that. One bill moves the initiative referendum measures for June to November, okay, so that we won't have any June ballot initiatives, which splits union money on the conflict, and they think the Obama vote will bring more people out to fight the things that they want to fight. And then, where's that one about funding? Hold on just a minute. It'll take, you'll get fined $25,000, the person who's sponsoring the ballot initiative. Say it's like on Prop 23, certain people had sponsored that. So if they pay them by signature gather like a bounty, then there'll be a $25,000 fine and a $1,000 fine for the signature gatherer. What they want you to do is pay the signature gatherers by the hour instead of by each signature that they get. And then also each paid signature gatherer in 30-point font, mind you, 30-point font, will have to wear a badge that says, I am a paid signature gatherer or a volunteer signature gatherer, and I'm paid by, I mean, my God, our signature gatherer is going to be wearing a sandwich board, you know, that says, I am a paid signature gatherer in 30-point font. If they don't wear the font size, the exact font size signature, if you go out and gather 1,000 signatures and you come back from your lunch and you forget to put your badge on and somebody comes up and catches you, they can disqualify all those signatures prior for with no disregard for the intent of the voter. It's just a mess. I mean, they're trying to just eliminate your voices. Back to another union bill. I got to pick on Ted. Sorry. So Ted has a contracting company, and it has landscaping or janitorial or window washing or food services. And he has a contracting company, and he loses his contract because he has lousy employees. And I pick up the contract. I have to hire his employees. Yeah. I have to hire his employees. That's a salarial bill. I have to hire his employees. I mean, they're telling you who to hire, who you can fire, what you can pay, and how you can do. I mean, they're in our business way too much. In our business way too much. But we've got solutions. Because you know what? I've been going around the state and I've been speaking to people like you. All the way from the southern end of the border to the northern end of the border and everybody else in between. And I think this is my second time speaking to some of you. I challenge you to bring friends. When myself, Tim Donnelly, or Brian Jones come and speak, I challenge you to bring friends. Because you know what we're going to do? We're going to get them out of the building and make them live under the rules that they create. Yeah. No more career politicians. There will be people who have owned a business that can leave for a few months every 2 years to run a part-time legislature. They'll live under the rules they create, and they'll be a little careful about the bills that they pass. We're hoping that the legislation will be able to have a constitutional amendment for 90 days, with 90 days to every 2 years, with a constitutional amendment that says no stupid legislation. I can't say stupid. No stupid legislation until you pass a budget. You know, so you have a balanced budget. Texas does it. Several other states do it. We got to get these people out of the building and make them live under the rules that they create. We really, really do. And so that's our goal, is put that on the ballot in 2012. So I'm going to be coming back to you guys, and I'm going, look, I need you, and reduce their pay. Pay them $600 a month. They don't need to be in that building. They really don't. No more career politicians. Get them out of the dang building. I had Alejo come up to me. He's the guy that I antagonize on this side of the aisle for me. So he comes up and he goes, I heard about your part-time legislature, and I want you to know they'll still be up here. I go, I know. And he goes, you're not changing anything. I go, oh, contraire, my dear. I said, I will mitigate your damage to only 90 days every 2 years, not 8 months every year. So that already helps. Even if the same people are in the building, they're in there for a less amount of time. Right now we're on break. We've been on break since Saturday. You guys are free till January 5th. Praise God. You know what I mean? You are free till January 5th. No more of these stupid things. I'm going to take questions in a minute, but I want to share one more thing. There's this new thing I learned. It's called gut and amend. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of like for the last 5 months, this bill has been about immunizations, about school-age immunizations, and then they line out or gut the immunization part on both ends, and they insert a part about project labor agreements. So it's not about immunizations anymore. It's called gut and amend. And that last night of session, there were several gut and amend bills. Something that was about something else is now gutted and amended to read. And I think that's unconstitutional, because you can amend, but you cannot replace. And they have replaced everything. I mean, I take a bill about immunizations, immunizing school-age children, and turned into a project labor agreement bill. It's just not right. And I brought samples of those too. But so gut and amend, and that's something that, those things have got to be stopped. And you know what they do is they bring things over with this new language, and they go, we're recessing for a committee for public comment. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. We go to the committee room, and they're like, anybody here to speak from the public? No, no one's here. Seeing none, we move this bill to the floor. I mean, it's just outrageous what they do. So it's just outrageous. So there is hope. Put them in the building. I'm serious, part-time. Get them out of there. Get them out of that building. Stop this stupid stuff, especially when it costs about $20,000 to $25,000 to run a bill through that building. Get them out of there. And those unions have so much control. I've already told you the extortion that they do for the unions, and that's why they shut me down on the floor, is because I was going to just bring that on the floor. But a lot of news media people have picked it up. I get to go on Channel Fox or Fox News tomorrow, not nationwide, but Los Angeles. And we're going to expose them for what they are. And it's, they don't like it, and I don't care.